Hello again. So, as we look at the brackets,
Hello, Governor.
maybe waiting for Symbol versus Hurricane Akeen. If Armani versus the Terran finishes soon too, I suppose we can catch that. We're waiting, basically, is the TLDR.
Yeah, we'll need a match in a
Silver.
moment too. We can talk about some things though in the in between. Number one, quick shout outs while we're not casting it to the Fat Cat Chef. He's playing in the Leafang Group A group that's starting up right now. That's the guy who qualified without winning a single match yesterday.
Well done.
Well done. That's some determination if I've ever
Truly
seen
a testament to showing up is the... What is the saying? Like, showing up is half the battle or something? I don't remember.
I'd say it's more of a testament to check-ins because there weren't any.
Yeah. Thanks to Dianacity for the 8-month resub.
Woo! So again, quick reminder to everybody: the Olimoleague is, put on by a lot of different people doing a lot of hard work, but mostly and primarily you guys who helped build us to be what it is did it through the Patreon, patreon.com/Olimoleague. If you want to see some of the cool perks and rewards and always get like new information before the rest of the cool kids out there, if you don't know, she does put messages out to Patreon, letting people know about upcoming cool stuff and opportunities. But for us, I guess we kind of talked about this a little bit yesterday. I'm just going to mention it now. For a lot of these casts, I mean, this one's fine, so don't misunderstand. Please do not misunderstand this. As the Olimoleague is like literally one of the only things that pays us to cast it, thanks to you guys supporting the Patreon. I'm not so worried about it for this, but for a lot of our other casting, and especially last night, yesterday was actually a pretty annoying evidence of this. Was ad block rates are really high now, and we haven't really had to ask and talk about you guys perhaps not using ad block in a while, but our ad revenue has been down, and we did like 8 hours of casting. We got something like 20-30 bucks in donations eventually after we talked about this on stream. I quote, one of the donations was, "You guys just gotta whine more to remind us to donate." That's not the point of this. If you guys could consider trying to have ad block, it goes a long way for us. Even on casts where we do get paid, like the Olimoleague, or casts where we don't get paid, like WCS, ZombieGrub and I primarily make a living through you guys watching those ads. And we really, really appreciate and thank those who do, because it helps us make this thing something we can do on the regular. Not some big hotshot streamers who just get to count off donations all day, sadly. But one day perhaps. Other than that, you can also help us out by checking out all of our sponsors down below. I'm not going to do like the full spiel of rundowns, but there's lots of cool deals and ways to save yourself money on cool products, games, and other services. And Amazon, I think, being one of the bigger ones for ZombieGrub, make sure to check out. And then last but not leastly, for my downtime talk, just remind everybody we posted our co-op video on YouTube. ZombieGrub and I want to be fully transparent with this, do not get a single cent that comes from YouTube. We actually in turn give all that money to Joey, also known as Nice Username, some of you may know that name a little bit better, to make sure that he's regularly uploading VODs from our cast. He's putting those awesome spoiler-free tags on it, making it a way better experience. So check out our YouTube VODs, guys. And if you don't know, youtube.com/BaseTradeTV, we're at 9,337 subscribers, getting closer and closer to that 10K.
Yeah.
YouTube's a really slow crawl for us, though, and it almost is disappointing in a way. But at the same time, not, because our logic is like the reason our YouTube is kind of low is because our Twitch is really high, and there are really popular YouTubers that don't get even a quarter of the viewership we get on Twitch, so I don't really know how to weigh that out. I was watching this one girl. She had 1.9 million subscribers. She was streaming on YouTube Live and had like 400 people watching, I think.
Oh, I was gonna get 40.
I was astonished. Well, yeah, consider 400 to 1.9 million. Like, that is basically 40. Like, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah. Weird numbers. So, we are still waiting for a match. Gonna try and follow Neeb. Makes sense.
Yeah, Neeb just won, so him versus NaTuRal looks like that'll probably be the best one available for us.
Yeah, I don't know who's supposed to make that lobby, but...
Actually, if you recall, Neeb is the only foreigner who won in Olimoleague before Pili started tearing it up. And for a while, it was Nate before that who had the longest run in this Korean event, so...
Yeah. Nate and Pili have not won one. Neeb's still king about that, but...
Yeah. Well, sorry, the part I was going to segue into that for, though, was last time he did it, he was playing from North America. This time he's playing from Korea. So there's not that question of, oh, would latency and time zone affect him? Like, Neeb should be playing at a pretty comfortable time and a pretty comfortable ping.
Yeah, it's been about, what, a week and a day or something since he returned from Montreal as well. So it's not like he's all tired and whatnot. I would give it to him versus NaTuRal, but NaTuRal is that up-and-comer, and Neeb would be a really good testament to his skill versus Protoss. And if he does win against Neeb, that would advance him to the semifinals, probably face off against Gumiho. His TvT has been getting better and better, probably because of how much practice he's getting in it in this particular tournament where we have a lot of Terran. For instance, Alive versus Byun happening in the lower bracket. Keen still, I guess, are involved. Symbol did 2-0 Shine, so we're not seeing the return, I suppose, of Shine. Not yet, anyway.
So we're in the lobby. We're good to go as soon as the players are. Just one last point on that ad block talk that we just went over. SC2 Fool, well, I don't particularly enjoy this individual. He does make a good point where he says, don't ask people to drop their ad block is because it's a security issue. And it's true, and I've said this many times in the past where we live in an age where you do need ad block. If you're not using ad block, you're probably picking up malware and viruses you don't even know about on various websites. But you can whitelist things, and you can make it, well, look, BaseTradeTV, I watch it every day. Sure, I don't really have money to donate. I'm a college kid, or whatever your situation is. You can still whitelist it. That way you don't ad block this particular channel.
Yeah. I guess some people don't know about that, but also some people are maybe aware and just still using an excuse not to.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people we're never going to convince. So just trying to appeal to the good hearts of those willing, because you don't miss anything during the ad breaks if that's not fairly obvious. The 2-minute countdown timer doesn't even have music. It's just a boring screen where we take a breather and you guys hopefully help us make a couple of cents. But anyways, like we said, it's the Olimoleague, so this is one of the few casts we do get paid for. I'm not too worried about it, and welcome back to it. Spawning in the top left side, it's going to be the foreigner living in Korea, the yellow Protoss Neeb.
In the bottom right, as the blue Terran, he is NaTuRal. So okay, decide if he chose that name because he likes naturals or because he wants to one day be called a natural at StarCraft.
It's too bad you can't get supply block to 10 out of 10, because then I could say it's a natural 10.
Ha! Well, it means a natural 20 anyway. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, that girl, she's an 18 out of 23. There's a lot more discussion we had about this ad block stuff, and that's something maybe we do for like a once-off talk show type thing. So we'll leave it where it is, guys. But just know that we do appreciate those who support us. Big shout-outs to HJK96 for their comment in chat. But anyways, moving on with this, as you said, this is going to be a real test of natural skill. And we really don't often find ourselves saying that. For the longest time, for like 99% of StarCraft's life, if you're in Korea and you're a crappy player in Korea, you're still better than most players in the rest of the world. Not the case anymore. Foreigners have stepped it up a lot this past year, and Neeb is one big exception to this because he took it even further than everybody else. And he's probably one of the scarier guys in this entire tournament. All the Koreans should be worried fighting against him.
Oh, I was gonna fight with that guy. Damn. Yes, that is true. Damn it. Neeb is actually, like, I've gone over this before when we cast him last versus a Terran, but that his confidence in the way he plays Protoss seems like it should be good in all matchups, but lately his win record against Terran has been, I think, one of his worst, at least when it comes to offline play. That's where he's stopping when it comes to tournaments. Also, just general round of 4 and all his mental issues, I suppose, but it also coincidentally happens to be Terran every time it does happen.
Mental issues make it sound a lot more unstable than you intended.
Yeah, you're right. That was my bad. But Reaper should...
Neeb's constantly fighting off the desire to kill everybody around him at the exact same time.
Neeb does kill that Reaper. NaTuRal should... Yeah, no Terran should ever lose a Reaper to one Adept, but he got a little bit greedy, I think, and the Shade did find him. That sucks.
When we played Archon mode, I was pretty good at losing Adepts or Reapers to one Adept.
There's no excuse.
Good, man.
Never mind. You're bad. You're bad. Deal with it.
Yeah. I miss Archon mode. I really think, by the way, just as a side note, there's still a place for Archon mode. What I loved most with whether it was like Korean pros even or European foreigner pros, like people didn't mind playing it because it didn't seem to cut into their normal builds, so they didn't mind showing things off and they could play in these competitions. And I feel like our combo could be so much more fun and competitive if Blizzard would just take 2 seconds to work on it.
Yeah, I agree. Hellion, get in here. Hellion,
Yeah, it's actually
here.
causing a little bit more trouble than it should have. Gets a nice big scout reconfirming everything that's down. 2 more Hellions run in, and uh-oh, these probes aren't being handled the way the other ones were, so 3 go down.
Yeah.
Oracle actually burns its energy at home, so there's not going to be a lot going across the map.
This has really gone upside down for Neeb, you know? Like, the Hellions got the scouts that the Reaper was failing on in the first place, which I think that Reaper failing probably was what made Neeb really convinced he could put down a proxy pylon to continue the aggression. But of course, the Oracle Adepts combo, no matter how you do it, proxy pylon or not, can be very devastating. Now NaTuRal is entirely prepared. He's got Widow Mines, but they're not in position, funnily enough. He doesn't go for the army, he does still go for the SCVs.
Yeah, I think the problem is, too, it's really easy to see those Widow Mines on this sort of terrain. As you can see, Neeb handling this actually very well. Neeb's got a cool trick he's been doing lately, too, where he's been juking out Widow Mine hits with Adept transfers. I'm not sure if you saw that really cool highlight on Reddit recently or not. Just kind of using the transfer timing like Blink, but Oracle does make it to the main. How does this thing have energy?
No.
It blew up shit back at home. It's blowing up shit in NaTuRal's base. I mean, Neeb does lose the Adepts to the Liberator by the looks of things, but the Oracle gets so much done. 19 workers dead, 19 workers barely left alive.
And it's only because you ran out of energy. Like, he was so careful to check if there's a Widow Mine there, and he realized there wasn't. It was like, oh my god, free pickings. Widow Mines on the other side of the map don't get anything done, and Phoenixes were made to stop them from getting much done, plus killing the medevac. Neeb's in a great position, despite what was originally a complicated one because of the Hellions. Like, it really was... It should have thrown him off so much. Slow warpings here that NaTuRal was able to see. Hellions causing the Oracle, as you said, to burn some energy. You thought maybe it wouldn't be able to do anything else, but now the Widow Mines being out of position ended up costing NaTuRal all of the probes. If those were just in the NaTuRal and main mineral lines, or Mr. was in the main mineral line, first and foremost, he only loses 10 SCVs, and that's a lot more manageable.
Maybe that's why his name's NaTuRal. It's the only base he can defend.
Oh, he didn't even defend it that well, though.
It feels bad, man.
Oh, no. Liberator's gonna try and even up the score a little bit. Ooh, Adepts!
You missed some Widow Mine hits going off. Some pretty big ones, too. 8 actually, 8 workers isn't that big, but still.
Yeah, it was 3 Widow Mines, so they're...
It looked flashier than it was.
They're bound to get something done if they all could burrow. Liberator does get siege up in the main base. He gets 2 more probes on top of that. He's just gonna sack it, which is probably the better idea. Neeb... okay, no, he gets rid of it before it takes another shot.
11 workers helps bridge that gap, but it was still very devastating to take 19 losses early on. And if Neeb didn't have the 3rd going down as we speak, then this could be a different situation, but it just finished, so it's going to be easy as hell to replace those probes with Chrono Boost.
Yeah. I was going to add that not only is it about the workers killed, it's about... Oh, thanks, please. It's about the medevacs going down and the army going down for NaTuRal. A lot of his starport production has to be replaced, basically, to start from fresh. He does have stamina, he will have combat shields now. A Hellion even gets in here, and, I mean, it could have gotten a couple more shots, but Adepts react. Finally cleaned up.
Those gotta be careful. Fine Bros might get in on that.
Heyo. Commentary. Amazing.
Harambe.
Just start
Just start saying memes. Dick butt.
That hasn't been a meme in a while.
No, dick butt has always been a meme. The worst part is it comes around when you're not expecting it.
Well, this is about as good of an army NaTuRal is going to get to push out with combat shields. So, well, his production is now set up. We'll get a bigger one in the next wave. Next wave is like a minute from now, and Neeb's gonna have his own production too. He's gonna have upgrades. He does have a good economy right now as we speak, and I think NaTuRal's gonna find the best opportunity maybe with a drop. He did kill one of the Phoenix after all, but it's just going for the straight up push, and it's not gonna be able to do very much. It's gonna focus fire in a sentry maybe, but it
Tries to.
I wanted to. Good juke. He's just rallying his units, in fact, which I don't know if is going to be the best solution. Production, as said, is all set up now. Just a matter of using it. His macro slipping a little bit here. Macro slipping. There we go. You push down what did he put down? Oh, I put down planetary. Okay, so... Or a command center, not a planetary. NaTuRal is going to try and play a macro game from this, but this push is just not looking very strong. Drops you go into the main base. There is a single pylon to help out. And adept warp-ins. This might be enough. They don't have anything glaive, though. Another puts an overcharge. Is not in range. This attack is just fended off super easily. In fact, Blink does get the medevac. There we go. Now really cleaning this up. I think Neeb's in a pretty damn good position.
Yeah, I mean, Neeb's been in a good position since that first attack, but I gotta give it to NaTuRal. First off, didn't give up. He's been fighting his heart out.
Oh, thanks, Probe.
But this is a guy who, we've been seeing rise through the ranks in Korea. This is a guy we were questioning, like, what can he do versus Neeb? And even with that terrible start to this game, he's still in it. Not gonna say he's gonna win this anytime soon, but he's still in it.
Yeah, he's trying to be in it. So third base was so damn late, and it's, the 5 racks did absolutely nothing. It's gonna be a very hard fight from here. Neeb has his Warp Prism, so more SCVs will definitely be going down as the game continues. Just there's not much you can do against it except hope a Widowmine gets a great shot, which NaTuRal does not have anymore. Drops get into the third base of Neeb. I think they got 1 probe, but then get cleaned up. Don't focus fire. Neeb knows about this third base, by the way. I mean, look, he knows it's on an orbital. He knows he's in a great position. Fourth base halfway done, already set up. He's going for Colossus as well as double upgrades. Double forge here. The attempt to kill the Warp Prism ends up backfiring. And now he can't get his units up to the Adepts.
No, and if he tries to pick up and drop too, that's just going to be units coming out of the medevacs 1 or 2 at a time. So
yeah.
Neeb in a very interesting spot. The Adepts will try and transfer around. The Warp Prism goes north, but looks like the Adepts will not get killed off too quickly. So they do, funny enough, make it to the mineral line, but only to go back and fight the Marauders once again. Warp Prism, by the way, did escape. There it is in the top right.
Yeah, running away. Those Adepts caused, I think, like 3 stims on army, so had he been able to warp in another round, he might have been able to take it on. This army is just it's so tiny. It's only half of NaTuRal's army, as I said. The rest was stimming back at home, and Neeb has all of his army ready to go here. I would say that Liberators might be able to do something, but of course NaTuRal not yet able to afford them and not going for them. Upgrades are falling pretty far behind, only now getting a second engineering bay. Because the armory was pretty late too. He got a Ghost Academy before Armory, which is interesting. I'm surprised he thinks he can afford ghosts. He's gonna get 1. And ghosts really aren't even that useful, I would say. They're never bad to have. EMPs, do damage to everything technically, but it's actually a Stalker Colossus army, not like a mass Adept army.
It does get probe kills against Neeb, but
yeah,
at this point it's not an economy war, it's going to be an army war. Actually taking on the army not too badly because Neeb's bigger units are a little bit late to respond, so the Marauders take on the Stalkers decently. Meanwhile, elsewhere on the map, poised and positioned, still looking to move into that natural base. Neeb's brought everything now on this side. Looks like the rest of the army stimmed it to death with no medevac support. Going to go down these Colossus beams slowly but surely.
Yeah.
21 workers killed, though.
Yeah, he definitely messed up not pulling away. At least that would have dragged the army closer to his as he raced back, and he might have been able to save a good 10 probes there. Still on 4 bases, though, and can replace them fairly easily, and his army is better. NaTuRal ended up losing all of his army, obviously, and cannot replace it that quickly. Blink forward takes down one of the medevacs, and Neeb should just push to win now. There's not much response to the Colossus, but even if there wasn't Colossus, Neeb just has the bigger army.
Yeah, and upgrades too. 2-2 over 1-1 is going to make a world of difference here. Picks off that Widowmine, no problem. Blinks in. Focuses down the medevacs. Not that there's really any in the first place. Stalkers realize they've perhaps extended a little bit, but that's where the Colossus finally catch up to the rest of the army. And this is going to be the last fight for NaTuRal. GG as the Ghost dies.
Nicely done by Neeb. I mean, hey, NaTuRal had that one shining moment of like, oh, wait a minute, maybe he can bring this back, but it was a pretty bad game for him from the lack of Widowmine defense. He had almost the perfect defense. It's actually quite unfortunate for him that Neeb just kind of ran past it, but it happens to everyone, I suppose. Got faith in the guy. That was the default first map. Now it's going to be NaTuRal's map choice. He's already in game. He's ready to go.
Oh, that was fast.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I know exactly what I'm gonna do now. I got this.
Well, he invited me, so yay. Winner of this will, of course, play the winner of Gumiho and that unknown Terran. I guess Armani ended up never actually showing, so it just ended up being a walkover. Bottom side of the bracket, Alive and Beyond are tied up now 1-1. And looks like that side of the bracket with Hurricane and Keen is a little bit delayed as well. Hurricane, though, might also be a no-show, question mark.
Interesting.
That will make 3 tournaments in a row I've seen Hurricane sign up for and not actually show in.
Well, Armani and Hurricane both played their first match. So it's weird
That's
that
true.
they forfeited after.
Maybe see who their opponents are going to be and like, fuck it, I don't want to play Neeb.
Maybe. I was wondering if they're in the Lefang Cup, but they're not. Questions everywhere. Frozen Temple is NaTuRal's map choice. I gotta yawn. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're good. Here we are. Game number 2. In the bottom right, as the Blue Terran, he is NaTuRal. Oh.
And his opponent, the foreign king to the arena.
Oh.
Oh, well, yeah, I see. It's going to be the yellow Protoss, Neeb. NaTuRal. I'm wondering, okay, this has got to be for a barracks to send it out this early. There's no way
Yeah.
There's no necessity to scout Neeb. Neeb doesn't proxy gate you with his first pylon, right? Like, there's no needing to scout this. So, without a doubt, it's for the barracks. But now the question kind of comes into what type of proxy is this? For those who don't know, even with like the perfect Protoss timing, the Reaper still gets out usually in time to kill maybe 2 to 4 probes. Alright, is that damage worth it? Not alone, but if there's follow-up to it, if there's like a starport or more Reapers behind it or anything else, like we can start asking questions. But a second barracks back at home is certainly a bit odd.
Yeah. So when I saw Frozen Temple, I was like, okay, this is gonna be something really cheesy. Like, it's not a bad map for a macro game either, but just like Frozen Temple, I think tank pushes or proxy barracks. But while one proxy Reaper can get like 3 to 4 probe kills, and then you can do whatever you want behind it, like command center or you know, factory. I mean, if you're like needing proxying everything, right? A second barracks just does not look very good against a Protoss player, especially if they're gonna scout it. Maybe if Neeb doesn't scout, but almost every single Protoss scouts nowadays. You surprise them with, you know, like, hey, I actually have 4 Reapers in your base right now, but it's not even gonna be. NaTuRal has done mass Reaper builds before. This might just be a safe follow-up to a proxy Reaper. And I brought up the factory, I brought up the command center. Both of those things don't get you units very quickly, or a lot of units very quickly, where at least a reactor barracks will get you a couple of Marines, a handful of Marines.
Is Boris around? Somebody fetch Boris!
Heyo!
27 months on that reset button. That is a long damn time to support the channel. Thank you so much. Someone asked earlier too, by the way, if subbing gave us money. Yes, it does, by the way. So
You should shoot up. That's all I'm saying.
all right, yeah, they should. I absolutely agree.
Why am I the butt of all these jokes? Where's yours?
That's the pie. So yours are expensive.
Even my voice is on the pie, though. You put in minimal effort.
I couldn't. Well, I already said I'm not happy with that. Like, I'm changing that at some point. I said to put some sort of sound effect up. But Citizen Nina or Citizen A20. Sorry, that's weird capitals and numbers. Keep up the great work, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So that Reaper did a nice amount of damage. It's exactly what you want from a proxy Reaper, I would say, is 3 probe kills. The complicated issue is the, I guess, more, how to put it, middle of the road follow-up. You know, he's not entirely dedicating to an attack with a Liberator with a follow-up or something like that. He is just macroing back at home, so there's not much to capitalize on the 3 probe kills. He did get a second Reaper. Or wait, no, did he? Yeah, he did. Okay, the first one died. My bad. Missed it, but this one's gonna be able to get secondary scout at the very least. No, just kidding. Oh, Deps found it and killed it. Wrecked. That sucks for NaTuRal, who, as I said, you know, he could have had a Liberator. Instead, he went for the second barracks and is not going to have that secondary scout now. He doesn't know if Neeb's going for, well, he knows he went for a Robo, but he doesn't know if he's going for a Dark Shrine or a Fast by Twilight Council, a fast third base.
I mean, NaTuRal, everything's kind of going a little bit clockwork for what you would expect and how this game went. Like, you got exactly the 4 probe kills, kind of like expected. He started building outside of this. But at some point, that smoothness is going to wear off, and Neeb's like edginess or roughness, or however you want to phrase it, of what he's doing is going to come into play. Because unfortunately, for Neeb, there's not a lot you can do to, like, you don't rush out 5 extra adepts and 6 gateways to respond to this proxy barracks. You just take the damage, you play macro behind it, and he's been pretty solid. I mean, 40 probes up right now. Or not up, but 40 probes out, excuse me, right now. His production is starting to kick in. As the robo's done, you said, like, right, it could be anything else. Is it going to be a Twilight Council? Is it going to be for Storms or DTs? We don't know. But either way, for what he has, Neeb's looking okay. This attack that's coming his way, as long as there's 1 overcharge, he's going to hold.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, it's really NaTuRal doesn't know. So he's checking the third base, and he says, okay, well, at least he didn't try and do that. Because if it's a really quick third base, NaTuRal's little army here does halt that, and that would have been very, very useful.
I love War Prism for the micro, too.
Yeah, the tank adds a bit of complication. With just the Marines and a medevac, Corsair, as you said, takes care of everything, but the tank means that it's going to be a bit more of a soft contain, and he's really going to keep Neeb off of a third base, rather, that Neeb probably wanted to get. He starts Blink, he gets an Immortal. Another Potato Charge is available, I suppose, for the second pylon, and he's going to go for the attack. He picks up the Immortal to drop on the tank. Clever.
Yeah, Barry just triggered a little bit late, but unfortunately a lot of the Marines are starting to die off, and this micro out of Neeb has been pretty sick to watch happen. He can also pull this and put it in the dead zone, is what he's trying to do. The Stalkers can just shoot down that medevac. It falls, so does the tank, and NaTuRal's left with nothing remaining on this side of the map. This is what I was talking about. That's the roughness that is Neeb to this equation.
Dang. You can see that NaTuRal's micro is about to take out so many Stalkers, and that a different Protoss loses the Stalkers, loses his position, loses the Warp Prism, and is still contained. Neeb just dances, basically, his way out of that.
Neeb's a badass, man.
He can be pretty cool sometimes. Now NaTuRal is in a complicated scenario where he was depending a lot on tanks and his own pressure to take him farther. Now he has to micro against an offense as opposed to, you know, his own attack. He's on the defense now, and he's not going for third CC. I would put this in a... Okay, maybe it doesn't matter as long as he does hold on the defense, but Neeb has taken a lot of momentum back from this game. He's taking a lot of control on this game, and he now has got a scout on this game. He knows that 3 extra barracks are put down instead of a third command center, and that NaTuRal is looking for a follow-up push. I'm still kind of amazed at the Blink Stalker, or the lack of Blink Stalker dancing. They're gonna have Blink now. They're gonna have twice the micro. What are you doing? You scouting? Are you real against Blink Stalkers? You saw how many Stalkers he had. You know he's gonna get Blink.
There's a hallucinated what am I inside there, so... I didn't check his vision before he boosted up here. I wasn't sure if he knew that there was a third or not. That may have been all he was looking for and didn't want to burn a scan for it. Yeah,
I guess so. Still dangerous, because Blink Stalkers... he's being attacked by a Warp Prism. He knows that Neeb was out on the map. It was a little dangerous, but he now has all 4 tanks and all 4 medevacs, and a fairly deadly Marine push combined with it. He is getting a third CC on location, but it was, you know, clearly delayed compared to Neeb's right now, which is fully saturated. Neeb's gonna try and catch him while he's still, you know, making the move in, trying to get the medevacs specifically. He's got to fill on force fields to buy time. No, he's gonna take the fights. Goes for the Guardian Shield and then the force fields. I don't know if that was worth for him. They end up trading a bit here. +1 Resonant Glaives is on the way for Neeb, so I think he'll continue holding at this position until he has that.
Thank you, Rain, by the way, for the 7 months. Been around longer than that, but Heart Base Trade. Ugh.
Nice.
Right, you too, buddy. Hope you've been well, man. Hope things still look beautiful with that artistic talent you got.
I think NaTuRal's gonna back off for a second? No, he's just backing away from the Adepts. Neeb's gonna push in. +1 isn't quite done, but he snipes one of the medevacs. That is down to 3 tanks.
Yeah, this is actually a really tough position for Neeb in a way. I mean, obviously he's been taking better fights and this, that against NaTuRal, but the rocks being potentially abused. I mean, this is something where if he stops paying attention, if he just A moves into this, this actually doesn't go so well for him. So Neeb does have to take care. I love the constant threat of transfers with the Adepts. I love that he's got these Immortals in the Warp Prism ready to drop. But this is something he does have to be careful he doesn't mess up.
NaTuRal's about to have an upgrade lead once again. He's advancing his tech. He blinks in to take down a tank. I don't know if that was quite worth it. His own blink stalkers take a lot of tank fire from the rest of the tanks here, but he is taking on the bio.
Pick up on that low health Immortal was really nice.
It was, yes. But Neeb is now down 10 army supplies. I said the +1 armor about to finish for NaTuRal. Now Liberators are in here too.
There's been a considerable amount of focus fire trying to pick off these Immortals, but Neeb's barrier combined with the Warp Prism pickup micros kept them alive, which is really cool to see. But yeah, the Liberator's starting to change this up. I mean, you could blink underneath them and maybe Suicide for focusing them down, but that puts you in range of the tanks, that puts you in range of the Marauders. It can go all really poorly. Neeb's nowhere close to getting Tempest out, or Stargate for that matter, so we're not going to see an easy solution to these.
Yeah, it's not an easy solution at all. He does have a 4th base. I'm glad he was expanding behind this because his 3rd was under attack. He still had this time, but NaTuRal, you know, his push was really, I think, effective at this point. He has his own 3rd on the way, or actually finished and saturated, that is. And then he has a 2nd starport on the way for more Liberators, which is really complicating things for Neeb. Neeb is going to have even upgrades again here, and maybe even a bit of a lead for 30 seconds that he could push in with. But more Liberators, that's the real issue here. Down a ramp and a choke too. I guess Neeb's going to have to hope NaTuRal pushes in once, and he can take out the Liberators that way. I was going to say cancel those Adepts. Don't cancel these Adepts though. They run in, get up to quite a few SCVs as NaTuRal was just rallying all of his units forward. Could even take on the army if they didn't stop to attack the command center. Wow, these are some... I mean, we've been seeing supply depots on the edges, but this
Yeah,
one
for
is
scouting.
questionable.
We see it for like scouting Warp Prisms and stuff. I don't know about this, but okay. Whatever floats your boat.
I really don't know what Neeb's supposed to do here. He's banking a lot of minerals. He might also be a little like, okay, what is my unit composition supposed to look like? There's now 5 tanks, 5 Liberators, barely any bio, really. That's not the issue here. If he had Tempest, he would totally be pushing this back. But he hasn't even started the Stargate.
I mean, well, here's the thing that happened though, right? While this went on, Neeb took a 4th, like really casually.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's so scared by this because he knows at best it's a soft contain. But I am surprised, like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. There's no pressure to get the Stargate. There's no pressure to move towards Tempest. But he's making no effort to really go for Storms or Disruptors or anything else either. Oh, rip Immortal.
I don't... Neeb can never push into this, but I guess NaTuRal can never push into Neeb either. Like, once he unsieges everything...
But, okay, so that goes back to NaTuRal, right? Like, other thing about this is he doesn't have Liberator range. If he gets Liberator range, that starts to change up the dynamic of this quite severely.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I mean, he could probably get a 2nd starport with a tech lab.
Oh! Nice pickup. That's going to force the fight, though, with the tank on that front line. Scoops to pull it back, but Neeb not going to take the bait. Backs away. There's an attack onto his 4th while this goes on. He does segment some stalkers off to chase him. Mothership Force still looking for those overcharges, but as you pointed out, NaTuRal really cannot take a fight like this.
Yeah, and he just lost what, you know, little bio he had. There's so many Marauders that the Immortals are taking him down very quickly.
I mean, it's really nice that the Liberators are getting covered by the tanks, and the tanks are covering the Liberators and all that stuff. But at some point, if there's no Marauders helping cover either of those, then Neeb just blinks underneath this, throws up a Guardian Shield, and focuses it all down. In fact, that's going to be the case, focusing on those Liberators, see if he can kill them fast enough.
Not really fast enough.
It's not, actually. That's funny enough. But the thing is, the ground army just gets wiped from NaTuRal, too. So for Neeb, he still kind of wins this fight, despite the fact that he doesn't really do it cleanly.
Yeah, if he hadn't lost so many Marauders, you know, chasing like he did, he probably wins the fight. Or if he had more Marines than Marauders, he probably wins the fight. If he had taken a 4th base, I would feel so much better for NaTuRal too, but he is missing some crucial elements to a real macro game where Neeb was, as you said, kind of casually expanding, could get these gases, could get a 5th base now, they've pushed NaTuRal back, and NaTuRal, he's getting his 4th as main, and a new command center, so I guess very quickly he'll be on 2 fresh new bases, but it is still that time where he's down 30 supply, 20 of that in army. I guess Neeb not feeling super confident in pushing against NaTuRal, and NaTuRal will be pushing against the 4th base now. But we have a medevac problem potential. Only 3 of them here. They got a decent amount of energy.
Neeb is, I almost feel like stubbornly sticking to like having no AoE. We finally have the robo come down. I mean, it took so long to get to this point. I don't blame him because he had that borderline containment, but as soon as those disruptors start coming in, like he's already beating NaTuRal with an unideal composition, and once the AoE comes into effect, it's just gonna be nasty.
I was gonna say, now he feels confident pushing in after seeing what NaTuRal's small bio army looks like. So it's not even a problem with medevacs. 3 medevacs for how small the bio army is pretty perfect, in fact. It's pretty splits against the tanks, the adept, some of them being kind of lazy here, but looks like Neeb is going to take this game now. NaTuRal doesn't have any army. I don't know how he has 40 army supply. I don't see it. It's in Widow Mines, that's what.
This is like... I need proof. I don't believe it exists. Alright, the command spell gets lifted, and the Immortal's still all just kind of walking and wandering around.
NaTuRal doesn't want to give up, but Neeb is not just any foreigner, man.
Like I don't feel bad for NaTuRal too much because you are losing to somebody really great. This isn't like, oh, North American hopeful got crushed and squashed by the Korean. It's like, oh, this is Neeb, a guy who's regularly in 2nd place at every single tournament he goes to. Just badass overall. Like, it's yeah, GG. It's not surprising, but I expected NaTuRal to maybe go a little bit better than this versus Neeb, like not 2-0.
Yeah, 2-1. Yeah.
Either way, we do have the semifinals starting to shape up. So Gumiho won his series. So it'll be Neeb versus Gumiho on one side of the bracket. We will likely be in a bit of limbo time, though. I don't know where the Korean cast is at, but we do have to wait for them to start the semifinals. I believe, by what I'm guessing, is the highlight on Challenge, Keen versus Simple being cast by them. So maybe we can catch game 3 or something in that regard. Actually, Olimoleague's in a lobby for something. What's that?
Should we have the next lobby set up?
Yeah, it's just the next lobby setup. All right, so I'm not sure what's going on with Keen and Simple, guys, but we'll be back. We may take a slightly longer break, too, depending on how long we'll be gone for, but do stick around. We'll be back with the semifinals. Beyond on the other half versus either Keen or Simple. Gumiho versus Neeb. So 2 best of 3s and a best of 5 remain. We'll see you soon.